Alright, today we're doing part 14 of the Honda VF1000 buggy. Now, I have some, unfortunately I have some bad news. I may have broken the engine a couple days ago off camera. It's not that bad. It's a little bad. It's a little bad. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So basically what happened is, I want to say 4 or 5 days ago, I tried to start this engine and I've been having this issue where one of the cylinders gets flooded with gasoline, one of the carburetors, it's always a different carburetor for some reason. One of the carburetors, the float bowl gets stuck open and it floods the cylinder with gasoline. I try to start the engine, it just dead stops. I know when that happens, I normally just take the spark plugs out, turn the engine over again. Gasoline shoots out of the cylinder, I put the spark plugs back in, and it starts up just fine. That's happened the first 2 times, but the third time, it actually built up some momentum trying to start, and once it got to the cylinder that had gasoline in it, it stopped really abruptly. I heard a really loud bang, and then I heard some grinding metal on metal noises, which sounded awful. After that, I thought I blew up the engine. What happened was I sheared 3 teeth on the starter reduction gear in the engine. Now, unfortunately, because Honda only made these engines for technically a year and a half, I can't find a replacement part for the part that I have broken on here. This is a 1985 Honda VF1000R, and Honda doesn't make parts for it anymore. I've looked everywhere I can think of. eBay, I've looked at Honda parts dealership. I have a friend who works at the Honda dealership. He's been helping me look for the part that I broke. We can't find a replacement for it. Nobody makes it, nobody's selling it right now. So, unfortunately that kind of sucks, but I did find a couple days after breaking it, and it actually just got in the mail like 10 minutes ago. It actually, really great timing. This is the part that I broke. This is the reduction gear. And it has a very similar part number. It's just missing one of the letters or numbers is off. Just one of them. So I'm hoping this part will replace what I broke on here. If not, I'm honestly not sure what I'm going to do, just because this was the only thing I could find that may work for it. I can't find anything else. So anyway, let's take the side cover off and see if this will replace the part that I broke on there. If not, I'm honestly not sure what I'm gonna do. Yep. Unfortunately, it's not the exact same. There are 3 major differences between these 2 gears that mean that it's not going to work. Now, this is the original one, the one I just pulled out of the engine. You can see that that's the problem we're having. They're just 3 teeth that are missing. This is the teeth that I pulled out of the gearbox, and yeah, that's what we're dealing with. So there are 3 differences between these 2. First one is the original one. This little gear right here has 20 teeth. This one has 21. So right there, it's not going to work. The second difference is this has a little bit more of a recess than this one. Third difference is this one has a little bit more of a protruding thing than this one. So there's that. So they are very, very similar. It's just not exactly the same, and unfortunately, it's just not going to work. Now that I finally pulled this gear out, I can look at it in detail, look at all the features on here. There is a second gear that I bought on eBay, and I've been comparing the 2, the one on the listing that I bought versus this one, and if it's the same thing if what I'm buying is the exact same thing as what's in the pictures, it should work. It has 20 teeth, has the recess, and has the protruding thing right there. So I'm hoping it's going to work. The unfortunate thing is it's shipping from Germany, and it says the estimated time of arrival is 3 weeks and a day. So that's a bit unfortunate. We're just gonna have to wait 3 weeks to find out if it's going to work or not. I know you guys really don't like waiting, but unfortunately my hands are tied. I can't do anything except just keep on looking. So now there are other things we can continue working on the buggy. We can work on the gearing. I have some taillights we can install. So I guess let's just reinstall this gear and just do that stuff. So last video of this project, we had to play around with the gearing just to get this thing to work and get it to accelerate. What we did is we ended up putting a smaller sprocket on here. This is a 12 tooth. Originally there was a 17 tooth sprocket on here. Now it kind of solved the issue, but it really didn't solve it that well. It kind of still struggled for power. It really bogged the engine down. Everybody in the comments was saying how I just simply need to learn how to drive this thing, or apparently let their 12-year-old drive it, because apparently their 12-year-old can drive this thing better than me. Or I just simply need to rev the engine, dump the clutch, and magically that's going to solve the gearing issue. How? I have no idea, but anyway, so we simply need to play around with the gearing yet again. Off camera, I made this. Now this is a 10-tooth sprocket. This is literally the smallest sprocket I can fit on this engine and still make this work. Come on, get on there. There we go. So I did a test drive of the 10-tooth sprocket and it actually completely solved the gearing issue. This thing has plenty of torque now, plenty of power. It doesn't bog the engine any. I didn't bother filming. Give this thing. There we go. I didn't bother filming it just because I didn't know the engine was gonna break the next day. So that's a bit unfortunate, but at least we solved the gearing issue. It now works perfectly. We don't have to play around with this gear. So I think the next thing to do is let's replace this, just because it really doesn't work that well. It's starting to wear down, and we can build a better one. actually forgot about this. This just came in the mail today. I had bought this on eBay, and the listing on eBay said that it's for this engine and it's just a bunch of random parts from the engine. Now, I bought it just because I wasn't really sure what's in here, and we may have the gear that we are looking for in here. I have no idea, but let's open it up and find out. So I'm really not sure what's in here. It didn't really show me any pictures, but it just showed like just a bunch of random stuff for this engine, like side covers, and who knows? We may find the part we need right on top. Holy crap! Oh, is it the one? Is it hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, it's the gear that we are looking for, and it looks like it's in good shape. No missing teeth. Yeah, it pays off to just buy random stuff on eBay. I had no idea what was in this. You can see that it's just a bunch of random stuff for this engine. Ooh, it's got the... Oh, it's got this. I couldn't find this on eBay. Got the engine kill switch. Yep, we found it. We have the gear that we need. Oh, we don't have to wait now for the one from Germany. Let's install this in the engine and get this thing running. Alright, here goes in the new one. Let's hope this fits in here. And just like that, I don't know if you can see it, this box is kind of in the way a little bit, but there it is, it's in there. Let's put the cover back on. I did buy a new gasket for this clutch cover. It's just, unfortunately, it hasn't gotten here yet, and it's going to get here within 5 days, so I don't feel like waiting that long, so the old gasket's just gonna have to work for now. So, alright, moment of truth. Let's see if this fixed the problem. Let's see if it turns over. Cross your fingers. Here we go. It sounds a little, did it used to sound like that? It turns over, but it doesn't really sound like, that great. It works, I guess. It's making a weird sound, but it at least turns over. So, yeah, let's, put the spark plugs back in and see if we can get the fire up. So yesterday, I took the carburetors apart after fixing the engine. I took the carburetors apart and cleaned them just so therefore we hopefully never have this problem again. And they were perfectly clean. I didn't see any dirt at all. So I'm kind of wondering if it's a different issue with the engine meaning the float, causing the float bolts to get stuck open. So I'm wondering if it's because simply the gas tank is really high up above the carburetor, so I don't know if the fuel is like forcing itself down through gravity. So what I did was I not only installed a fuel filter finally, but I also installed a fuel on-off switch. So when the engine's not running, parked overnight, I'm going to shut the fuel off. So hopefully we never have this problem again. So let's turn the engine over and see if it fixed the problem. Cross your fingers. Yeah. It runs! Now, we are having a bit of issue with the idler wheel that we made in this video. It kind of makes a lot of noise when decelerating, so I think it's fine. It's if it's something where if it breaks, it's no big deal. We just replace it. So I think it's fine. Let's work on some other stuff. So the clutch pedal has kind of always been an issue with. That is how much movement it has between. It's actually like between here and here. It's slipping, not slipping, slipping, not slipping, slipping, not slipping. So it is almost impossible to let the clutch slip while trying to accelerate with that much movement. So we need to redesign this. I made this bracket right here. This just mounts onto that right there, brings the master cylinder up a little bit, brings this to this hole, so therefore it has a lot more movement and it's a lot easier to let the clutch slip. So let's install this and see if it works better. Yeah, that's gonna work a lot better. Before it was just almost impossible. Now it's now it does hit the back of the bar right here, but I did test it before filming this, and the clutch fully disengages even all the way back here. So it's gonna work a lot better. So, Rogue Fabrication contacted me a while ago and they sent me this tubing notcher. Now, I gotta say, I'm really impressed with it. I really like how it works. I'll be leaving a link in the description below so you guys can find this thing. Definitely go check it out. So honestly, I kind of don't like the look of this. It looks a little goofy. I'm gonna nickname it the unibrow, just because that's what it looks like. It looks a little hideous, but the reason I put it on here is to, if I ever take this thing off-road, if I ever hit a branch, it's going to hopefully protect the lights from being knocked off or anything. So it's there for a reason, but it just looks really weird. It's I don't know, it makes this thing look weird. But anyway, I'm going to leave it tacked on for now. If we don't like it, I can always cut it off later, but for now, let's leave it alone. Now, let's do what y'all have been waiting for. Let's drag this thing outside and I'll show you what the new gearing's like. Now I know I wasn't revving the engine as much as I could have been. All the comments of the last video, just rev the engine and dump the clutch. So I did a little bit. I brought it up to, I want to say like 5 grand maybe, and then just slowly let, I don't want to dump the clutch because I don't want to break it, but you got to admit, that's pretty good. That's, that's not that bad. So I know you guys want to see more of this thing driving. Unfortunately, I just can't do that in my yard anymore. I got yelled at for last time when I did that half little donut in the front yard. Can't do that anymore. No more driving it in the yard. I have been looking around for a place to take this thing. Unfortunately, let's be honest. Let's be perfectly honest. If I lived out west, I would slap some paddle tires on this thing and take it out to the dunes and call this thing a dune buggy. That's ideally what this thing should be. That's what I kind of, in the back of my head, designed this thing to be. Unfortunately, I live in North Carolina and there's just no dunes around where I live. So if I'm wrong, please let me know, because I've been looking online for a place to take this thing and I just can't find an off-road park that has semi-flat trails and that doesn't have, you know, I can't take this thing to Brown Mountain just because those trails are like really rocky and really, you know, steep and really bumpy and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of doubt this thing could handle those kind of trails. So what I'm looking for is semi-flat. I'm not looking for like Florida flat. I just need semi-flat trails that are smooth, where I can, you know, get this thing out of first gear finally, because I haven't done that yet, and just see what this is capable of. So if you know of any off-roading park that's around North Carolina, please let me know. Now, I know this video has kind of been a roller coaster of the engine's broken, we need a new engine, then I found a part that'll fix it, that part ended up not working, and then that part ended up, you know, then the part we need ended up being 3.5 weeks away from getting here, and then next day, oh, all of a sudden, I completely forgot that I bought this other box on eBay, and guess what? It has the part we need. So, fix the engine. Hopefully we never have that problem again. There are some other things we need to do to this thing to make it more finished. We need to put a more permanent gas tank on here. We need to put a more permanent radiator fan and a more permanent air filter. Most of that stuff is just, I need to either buy it or I can't find the air filter. I can't find it for this engine, so I may need to find some like pod filters that'll work for this engine. The gas tank, I just need to either make one from scratch, which they're not really that great and they rust inside, or just buy an aluminum one. And then the radiator fan, I just need to find one that will fit. So there are some more things we need to do to this. It's just right now I'm kind of working out the kinks, working out the bugs, and test driving it and all that kind of stuff. And we will hopefully finish this thing soon. So, I know I've been rambling through this entire video, so I'm going to end this video right here. Now I have to thank Go Power Sports for sending me the parts I've used for this project. I also have to thank Auxbeam for sending me the lights, and the headlights, and the whip light. I'm leaving links for most of this stuff on here, down in the description below. Go check that out. But I gotta end this video here. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see ya in the next video. Okay, so I just tried to start it, and there were some really nasty noises that happened, and I think it may have hydro-locked, so I pulled all the spark plugs out, and I'm just going to turn it over, make sure it's in neutral, and hope to God nothing happens, or has happened to anything. Oh, that's a nasty noise. Oh boy. No more. So, something that's kind of making me really concerned is I have a friend who has the same engine, and he's looking for a starter motor on this, and he can't find it. He's been looking for a starter motor for a couple months now. So, if the starter motor just broke, which sounded like it may have, yeah, that's
Ooh, that's not good. That is not good at all.